one of the things we have to correct in America, people should not have to feel bad about living in any part of the country where their politics isn't the majority. And that works both ways.
I agree.
Like, you didn't feel comfortable there, and that's wrong. And look, I never stop ragging on liberals and woke people, not liberals. I'm a liberal. These people are different. For just being snobs. This is the I won't eat with you at Thanksgiving people. This is the no contact thing. You know, lots of liberals wouldn't be comfortable at a NASCAR rally either. I mean, there are places where but I will say, and this is something I'm going to say Friday night, the liberals are worse about this. I will admit it, and we have to look in the mirror on that one. We are just worse at the snobby thing.
Bill Maher recently welcomed Lara Trump, and sparks flew instantly. The left watchers were floored.
Bill Maher controversy erupted. The left-leaning audience was shocked as Ma and Lara jointly exposed terrible realities. They had a razor-sharp, audacious, and compelling discourse. Hold on tight, people. This ride is going to get more intense.
I've done the same topic, I feel like, every year because I have to, because it's only one topic that's sort of appropriate, which is it's Thanksgiving. Be with your family. Don't cut off your family.
Agreed.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Even when there's a lot of things we don't agree on, and there's certainly a lot of things your father-in-law does that I don't like, and he just let me know.
I'm sure he has.
Oh, yes. But, you know, but here's the difference. I'll tell you the difference. Mm-hmm. When I went there, I brought that is a page of 56 different, just the mind of a man who could come up with those many off the top of his head. I know, because this is, of course, over many years.
Of course.
But still, it's just like, I couldn't come up with that many variations if I tried.
Very creative.
He directly attacked the left, accusing them of turning Thanksgiving into a political battlefield and prioritizing politics over family, often declining to have a simple holiday meal with conservative relatives. According to Maher, this growing division is precisely what is tearing the country apart. Disagreement does not have to destroy relationships, and cultural disputes should not dictate how Americans celebrate Thanksgiving.
Disagreement doesn't have to destroy connection, and Thanksgiving shouldn't fall victim to America's culture wars.
You know, they were giving all these jokes about something was going on with his hand. And I said,
the hand.
Save yourself. I'm 70. That could be my hand tomorrow.
It's true.
So
Absolutely.
I'm not making fun of physical deformities and that stuff.
Good for you.
It was fun for a minute, and but like, yeah, I don't need it. And if we can like do that on a bigger basis where people are talking and giving, somebody has to give a little somewhere.
Exactly.
Ma, however, refused to comply. He underlined that physical illnesses shouldn't be utilized as a political tool because they might affect anyone. It was complete desperation, according to Ma.
And I always give the conservatives their props on that.
Yeah.
I say it almost every time a conservative is on the show or comes here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm willing to sit down and talk to anybody.
Ask any conservative. Unfortunately, we can't ask Charlie Kirk, who was here.
That's right.
Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene was on real time, either here or on the show. Ask any of them. They will always, Ted Cruz, they will always say, we had a good time.
Yeah.
We had a good time. Now there are people who I wouldn't have here, like that little prick Nick Flynn.
And that's exactly what sets off a full-fledged crisis on the left. Bill Maher has the gall to praise conservatives. Nothing makes them respond faster. For many on the far left, conservatives are more than just political competitors. You should not sit with them, eat with them, or even acknowledge that they are human. As a result, when someone from their own cultural lane like Ma admits that conservatives could have some valid points, there is outrage.
Like, Trump is not...
No.
I mean, Larry David said I had dinner with her because it was such a bull thing.
Yeah.
Trump is not Miss Fuente's kid. That's
no, there's nothing I will say that I've heard come out of his mouth that I think I agree with, or many people who consider themselves MAGA. And quite frankly, the fact that he's got a Trump flag up behind him shouldn't say that, we agree.
He contends that the assertion is not only false, but also quite irresponsible, particularly coming from individuals who should be more knowledgeable. He even went so far as to say that following their recent meal together, there was nothing in the exchange that suggested a man was plotting dictatorship or taking sides. he immediately found himself in the crosshairs of his own ideological side after calling the moniker a foolish, emotional lie that diminishes real history.
I should have the right to choose. I shouldn't. The coercion that went on during COVID, I was not down with that.
Terrible.
Okay, so you can see why the left is very skeptical of me on that issue. I'm still not where RFK is, and where is he? I don't know, because he'll say one thing, and then I'm like, look, I'm reading it out of your book. You know, like, I said to him, you said, all vaccines. You're against all vaccines. Said, that's what you think? I said, well, yeah, you wrote it. What do you mean? But he,
But he can have his opinion, and then there's public policy as well. And I think that for so many people who, look at the people who lost their jobs because they didn't get the COVID vaccine, all the problems.
Many people were shunned simply for choosing not to get vaccinated, uneasy about a shot being promoted as a cure amid constantly shifting COVID guidance that left the public uncertain. Maher highlighted how this climate of fear and moral superiority punished dissent rather than fostering meaningful conversation. He pointed to Dr. Fauci, who became the pandemic's public face and appeared on television almost daily, making confident statements that often contradicted previous guidance. Maher criticized the left for clinging to absolutes, refusing to acknowledge that science evolves, and using fear and authority to control behavior, ultimately causing harm to the country.
Eric Swalwell had him on the show. I thought, wow, this guy is just way too hungry. Thirsty, I think the kids call
thirsty.
It.
The kids do say thirsty.
He's thirsty
and
just too left for me, like California. And so, did I cry crocodile tears? No. But he and Letitia James, I think, in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about checking the wrong box on a. If you're going to do that, let's go through everybody's mortgage loan, because I think you'll find some people on your side who might have done that.
I can promise you this.
Maher specifically brought up Eric Swalwell and Letitia James, referencing media and online stories about issues with their mortgage paperwork, a seemingly minor detail with potentially significant legal implications. He avoided framing it purely as a political attack, acknowledging that Republicans could just as easily face similar scrutiny, aiming for a balanced perspective. However, he emphasized that since Swalwell and James are prominent public figures, the facts deserve thorough discussion. If they violated the law, they should face the same consequences as any ordinary American. No political cover, no ideological excuses. Maher's point was clear. Let the investigation proceed, let the facts speak, and allow the law to operate fairly.
If people don't know, and we're going to talk about it on my show Friday, I think, she said, don't even ask me to run for president because we're not ready for it. And we proved that, and the country needs to grow up. And that is not my take on this. My take on this is, first of all, it's not a scientific fact that the two women who the Democrats ran lost because they're women, which is exactly what the premise of your comment is. We ran women and they didn't win. Well, first of all, Hillary did win.
Maher didn't hold back in responding to Michelle Obama's recent comments, suggesting that Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton lost their elections simply because they were women. He criticized the remark as both naive and unscientific, arguing that it ignores the complex realities of contemporary politics. Election outcomes are shaped not just by gender, but also by policies, messaging, and the ability to engage voters effectively. Reducing political results to a single factor like gender misleads the public, as Democrats didn't lose solely because they ran female candidates. They lost because their platforms, strategies, and communication failed to resonate. Maher's critique serves as a warning that oversimplifying electoral defeats into identity politics undermines both politicians and the democratic process, making it a perspective worth considering in today's hyperpartisan climate.
One of the things we have to correct in America, people should not have to feel bad about living in any part of the country where their politics isn't the majority, and that works both ways.
I agree.
Lots of liberals wouldn't be comfortable at a NASCAR rally either. I mean, there are places where but I will say, and this is something I'm going to say Friday night, the liberals are worse about this. I will admit it, and we have to look in the mirror on this.
I completely agree. Everyone should feel valued and safe wherever they are, regardless of their political beliefs. What matters most is that we are all Americans striving for a better life, not just for ourselves, but also for our families and future generations. Our political loyalty should never dictate our sense of safety and social inclusion. Just because I'm a Republican shouldn't make me uneasy in a region where Democrats predominate. In a similar vein, being a Democrat shouldn't cause discomfort in a conservative community. Our shared humanity, principles, and pursuit of opportunity and security must always come before partisan differences.
I don't know any conservatives who don't at least talk.
Right.
You know? Now, maybe that's because you won. Maybe that's because it's easy.
There was a time where we didn't.
And you still came. It's
Yes,
true.
there was a time we didn't.
They're happy warriors. I remember that term when I was a kid. Like, that was somebody who was like, and that's what Republicans usually are. They're happy warriors. They come there. And you can see I don't pull my punches. They take their shots like a man.
Comfort, coexistence, and mutual respect should be the cornerstones of every community. And Maher highlights that focusing on similarities rather than differences strengthens society, regardless of political alignment. He praises conservatives for their willingness to have their opinions challenged, confidently articulating and defending their viewpoints without resorting to personal attacks or theatrics, which makes for engaging and stimulating discussion. In contrast, Maher argues that many liberals thrive in echo chambers on social media, where their views are rarely tested and often collapse under scrutiny, relying on catchphrases and popular opinion rather than nuanced debate. This contrast fascinates him. On one side, bravery and honesty. On the other, performance prioritized over genuine dialogue. Ultimately, Maher values respect and the courage to participate in meaningful debate, noting that conservatives often exemplify this, fostering sincere conversation and preserving the integrity and attraction of public discourse.